See, I've been on YouTube for going on 5 years now, and I've been preaching the same things for all this time, and it seemed like some people not listening. Welcome to SouFLoTV again, everybody. It's your host with the most. This one right here is a letter I am going to read from a subscriber to the channel. Pay attention to this, because we've talked about this before. The letter says, hold on, let me pull it up. The letter says, "Dear SouFLoTV, I lost my entire life savings and feel like I am about to go crazy. I am 56 years old and was planning on retiring to Jamaica on my 60th birthday. Here is how it all happened. My brother and I moved to the US with our parents who are now deceased, and I made a good life in the US for myself, but my brother had a rough time and was always in trouble here. So we decided that maybe Jamaica would be a better place for him to live. In the process, we also decided that since I was doing so well here, that I would supply him with the finances needed for him to go ahead and build my forever home on the island and take care of himself there as well. I sent money to him over the years, trusting that he would do just as we had planned. Over the years, I made several trips to Jamaica, and I thought what I saw was mine, to include a business and a house. My brother is doing very well in Jamaica because his business is very successful, and he did build a beautiful house. Many would call it a mansion. He also started another one not too far from his house, and this one was supposed to be mine. These things I have seen with my own two eyes, so there was never any reason to doubt his loyalty." The person sent the letter in the font of the words is very small, and I'm trying to read through it exactly how they wrote it to me, so please pay attention. "I was told by some relatives that I will regret it because my brother is known in Jamaica as the big spender, and they were concerned that I was being robbed. But every time I told my brother this, he confronted those family members and cursed them out. He dismissed them as being jealous, and I believed him. Now I know that they were telling the truth, but I never thought my own brother would do this to me. If this was a stranger, I would be seeking revenge, but this is my only sibling, so all I can do is cry and pray. Over the years, I have sent my brother a total of $540,000 US. My granny backfoot. This was sent in lump sums. Each time I sent between $2,000 and $5,000 US, and this went on for years. My brother, as it turns out, was spending all my money on women and partying and living like a king in Jamaica, while I was here in upstate New York working my fingers to the bones. I went to Jamaica in 2019 to bury my mother and to see about my finances and my house, as my retirement would be in a few short years, and I got the shock of my life. The house my brother claimed he was building was completed and looking lovely, but I noticed that it was occupied, and he said he could not go there because the tenants did not like to be disturbed. I asked him to arrange with the tenants to have the landlord, which is himself, to overlook the property for some insurance purposes and at their convenience, so as not to infringe on their privacy. But his excuse was that he could not get a hold of them to do so. One day when he was away, I walked down to the house and spoke to the persons who own the house, and they told me that this was their house they had built from scratch. Now this woman all these years is thinking that this house is hers, and she would see the house being built and she thought her brother was building her house. Wow. So she said one day when he was away, she walked down to the house and spoke to the people that were there occupying the house, and they told her that the house was being built from scratch, that they built their house from scratch. This is their house. My brother claimed that he had created another stream of income by completing the house and renting it out to a family. I did not mention anything to him when he came back that day, but this raised my concerns, so I decided to go to the bank and check out a few things before I left the island, only to find out that there was no account set up with my name and there was no money at the bank for me. I waited until I got back to the States, and I confronted my brother by phone. He is a very aggressive person, and I am not one for confrontations, so I did not want to do it while I was there in Jamaica. I also found out that the house that he was living in, which I thought was his, was actually a rental property, and he does not own a house or a business. Damn! Wow. Since I got back from Jamaica, he has stopped taking my calls, and he has moved from the location I thought was his house. This is my blood brother of the same mother and father, and I never thought that something like this would ever be done to me. Here I am, approaching my retirement, and it is looking like I will not be retiring after all. The last time I spoke to my brother, I told him I was going to get the law involved, and he told me that if I make any trouble for him, then I could never come back to Jamaica and live in peace. I took that as a threat against my life, because we have all heard these stories before, and I am not willing to take any chances. I have decided to live out my days in the US, with no plans of ever visiting Jamaica again. I am hurt because he has made off with my parents' house and all the land and assets they left that was supposed to be divided between us. All that he has taken, along with my life savings. Damn. Sorry for writing so much, but writing this feels like therapy to me because I really feel like I am going insane. I have a few things up my sleeve, but they will take time to work out, and when they do, I will write you again to give you his name, and I will send a picture of him. Please keep me in your prayers and feel free to share my story on your page. It's not a page, it's a channel, but okay. I hope it will wake somebody up and save them from the same heartache. Thanks for reading my story, and if you do decide to share it, please leave my name and email out of it for now. God bless you. RML. RML. I don't know who RML is. That is the least. The person asked me to leave out their information out of it, so I will do so. But check me out. We talked about this before, right? And this is not the first time we've seen these stories or heard about these stories where people actually trust their family members with their life savings, and these family members violate in a big way. Now, I'm not one of those people that would be able to trust anybody with my life savings. You understand? But I understand this story as in the closeness that this brother and sister had, and she felt like she could really trust her brother, especially the part where she said they moved to the US and as teenagers, and her brother lived a troubled life in the US, right? And she was looking for to help him. So after living a troubled life in the US, they were thinking he wasn't adjusting well here throughout the years, so they figured they would send him back to Jamaica, and she, who is doing well here, would actually go into plans with him to oversee everything. And she's planning on building her own house there, eventually retiring and going back home and living out her days on the island. So many Jamaicans have this same vision for their future, and they put trust in family members. This ain't the first story I've heard. I've heard stories where when the people come back, they come back and see like a mud hut or a board house or one like a tiny house, which not what they were seeing in pictures, because these people never visited the island. They just trusted family members to build it. And when they finally went there, it wasn't nothing like what they were being told. In her case, though, she actually went to Jamaica a couple of times over the years, she said. And she said she saw stuff with her own eyes. I'm wondering if this guy, first of all, had to have help to do what he did to his sister. But bigger than that, I wonder if when she went, it seems like when she went to Jamaica, what she saw was the house. She said she learned out that that big house he lived in was actually rented. So this man rent a big old house. Now this house can't be cheap to rent. And if you think about it, the amount of money that he was getting from his sister, he could have probably bought a house like that. But he was renting the property. And she would stay there, it's fully furnished, it looked nice, his whole family is there, or whoever is there with him, and she's thinking this is his home for real, right? You don't ask your brother, let me see your papers that you own the house, let me see your deed, let me see your mortgage papers. You don't ask them for that. You know, say you go visit and the house fully furnished and your family invite you there, and that's the house, that's their house, right? So I could see how she got tricked with that. But to think about how deceiving this brother is, he actually found a house close by that is being built. And I'm willing to bet that the people that were building that house for themselves were people who also live overseas. So they probably were not on the island that much. Therefore, every time she go, the house do little more progress and little more progress. And she's probably thinking, yes, it's going to be built. Him just taking his time with it and all that. The business that she claimed she saw with her own eyes, he has a successful business. I'm wondering if this man was working somewhere or he arranged with someone who owns that business to have him sit around for a few days or whatever to have his sister think that this is actually his and it's up and running and it's successful. To think about the length of deception, the depths of deception that he went through to con his sister out of her life savings. Now, I am no big mathematician, but 540,000 US dollars, the amount she claimed that she sent to her brother over the years. And this was supposed to build house, him take care of himself out of it, and also have a hefty savings for when she comes home. And nothing is there. 540,000 US dollars is a whole lot of money in Jamaica. 10,000 you could round off roughly to $1 million. So if 10,000 could round off to $1 million, and she got 540,000. Wow. Wow. I don't know what to say. Some would not look for revenge. I would be looking for revenge. Me and this brother here would have to go talk in the afterlife. I know a lot of people are going to say, SouFlo, no, regardless of what, his day will come and karma never misses and God will take care of it, and it wouldn't make you a better person if you got him killed or if you did something to him. Leave it in God's hands. I don't know if I could be that kind of person to talk about leave it in God's hands at this point. This wasn't no $10,000. This wasn't no $20,000. This wasn't even $100,000. You talking 500 and something thousand, 500 and, let me see, 540,000 US dollars. And you my blood from the same mother, the same father, and you do this to me. I can bet that that brother, if he has any sense, he probably didn't just party out the money, but like her sibling, or her, not siblings, her cousins were warning her, right? Or her family members, other family members, she said, were warning her. I'm assuming it's cousins, auntie, uncle, I don't know, but were warning her, and she would go right back and tell the same brother they were warning her against. And the brother would take it upon himself to go cuss them and silence them, right? And he did that and was very effective at that. So them leave her and make she end up which part she end up. My advice to you people out there, you're planning retirement and you're planning, say you're one of them people that's gonna go build a nice house on the island and go chill out. Listen, we've done countless videos on the channel now where we've seen people with the same goals and visions end up going back to the island and getting robbed and killed. Okay? And they're robbed and killed majority of the time by family members or by somebody that they're doing business with, whether it's to fix up the property or whether it's whatever the case is, working on building the house, or family members who they are in dealings with and they should have never built on the piece of land because mama never left it for you, she left it for me, and these kind of things. And so there was even one story where the lady was told that if you build upon the house, me I kill you, you know. If you build on the land, me I kill you, you know. Because the land there, that piece of land there is we it left for. And because these old people die with no will and just word of mouth their stuff, this is the type of stuff that comes out of it. The woman ended up building on the land and she ended up getting chopped to death in the house that she built on the land. Gorgeous house. You know what I'm saying? So we've seen these stories and heard these stories before. My advice is these things right here. 1, don't trust it to just family members, especially when you're talking about these sums of money. Don't trust your stuff to just family members. Family members will deceive you. Point blank, period. Everybody is good and faithful until money comes into the picture. Everybody is good and faithful until money comes into the picture. And when it's a large amount of money coming into the picture, then the deception runs deep. So you have to know that. If you're going to do that, build house on the island and plan retirement, you need to be somebody that is also committed to making your trips to the island, to spending some time on the island. Know how the place run. Understand? Find out who builds what. Get professional, established companies with a good track record to work on your stuff for you over time. That is the safest way to go. Get a lawyer involved. That way you have paperwork tracking and you are sure that if things get messed up, at least you can say, hey, you know what? I have a lawsuit. Not, oops, somebody ran off with my whole life savings. And it was my brother, and I didn't expect my blood brother to do me like that. Don't be one of these people, because it happens way more often than we think. I feel sorry for the lady. I don't know what I would do. I know I would feel like losing my mind too. And I hope that she has some kind of backup, some kind of little savings to sustain her, because getting older and having to start over is no joke at all. especially when you're up in those kind of ages. I can't imagine losing my life savings and having to start over, hitting close to 60 years old. People, leave your comments in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about this one. She said she is going to be on the channel. She's always on the channel, so she will see her story. All right? Talk up in the comment section if you have any advice for her, if you have any advice for other people that are thinking about doing anything remotely close to what she has done and all these things. And if you know anybody as well, or you've experienced similar, then leave those comments in the comment section as well and share them as testimonies so other people who read these things can know that this happens way more often than we think, and it can happen to you too. All right. It's SouFLoTV, man. Like, comment, share, subscribe. You already know. I'll catch you on the next video. I'm out. Peace.